Hi guys.
Happy Friday. We're coming to you live from
Your
the
favorite. From the studio.
From the studio.
In the studio. The studio.
Let me get situated. My God. Okay.
What we got going on, Jasmine? You good?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this pillow situation together. I'm ready.
Okay. So we are back. Y'all, my eye has been twitching for a couple of days. So
that means you ain't been sleeping. You've not been sleeping well?
And it's stress, but it's cool. But I just feel like that, I feel like I can see myself and my eyes lazy. So
how y'all doing? Check in for us. If you here with us, tell us how you doing. Drop it in the chat because it's been a life. It's been a week, but it's been a life.
I think that sums it up if we say that it's been a week, but it's also been a life. Like the week feels like a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Just feel like 2020 started and then it just never stopped.
I've actually been saying that for a long time. Yeah, because I don't really have track of time past that. So here we are.
It still feels like a few years ago to me, and it's all the way 2025. So there's that.
Which is crazy.
Real crazy.
Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that we need to the blow man slide off like Martin. He's got to.
And maybe we should take a minute.
Relax, release.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome.
So now, guys, if you are clicked on the title and if you are watching this later, hopefully you will see that we are talking about. We're going back to our friendship series, like all the friendship conversations that we've had, because it's layered. I don't care what nobody says about.
We need to talk about it all the time.
People talk about the friendships should not be difficult. They should not be complicated.
Any relationships, they're lying to you.
Liabilities,
or y'all not real friends. Okay,
that part. And there are certain things that actually happen in friendships. So we're going to talk about comparison, jealousy, insecurities that show up in friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And of
course, you see my face.
We're going to talk about two of our favorite toxic homegirls. Those girlfriends.
Some of us. It's not my favorite. Favorite toxic, probably.
I said toxic. The favorite toxic homegirls of Joan and Toni. And then, of course, we're going to bring it back up, even though I know that it's already been discussed, but we're going to bring back up this video that y'all know that went viral on TikTok. The girls.
The tickety talk.
The girls and the birthday outfit and the friend who looked cuter than the other friend on her birthday. So we're going to jump into that.
Let's go.
We're going to jump into what insecurities look like I said, the effects that this has on friendships, how this can show up big and small. What are some tips to deal with it if it's you, if you're the one who is dealing with the jealousy and the insecurities, or what are some tips if it's your friend who is dealing with this? So
let's go. So we're going to talk about girlfriends throughout. And if you know us, we're going to talk about girlfriends at any time, at any point, in any video. So just know that's going to be layered in here. But if you don't know, I'm going to give you just the really quick overview of the little TikTok thing, which is not really about the TikTok. I'm not even going to tag the people or anything like that.
Just an example.
Yeah, but it's an example of what a lot of people, and I think everybody on some level goes through this in their friendships, right? Jealousy is a natural emotion. Mm-hmm. It comes to us very naturally. It happens in relationships. So anyway, let's say there was one friend whose birthday it was. There was another friend. They were on their way back home, I believe, after the birthday. Mm-hmm. And the friend whose birthday it was upset because the other friend had looked really, really cute, and I guess cuter than they discussed, cuter than they agreed on, cuter than what she said she was, cuter than the birthday girl, but cuter than what she said she was going to wear. Let me also say that before. And so she was mad. She was jealous. She said, how come you doing the most on my birthday? Mm-hmm. This day is supposed to be about me. You was doing the most, right? And come to find out, anyway, the backstory is her boyfriend, the birthday girl's boyfriend, was looking at the homegirl. And that's what sparked it. But you could also tell there was she'd been feeling this way for a long time because she said, every time we go out, they always looking at you. You got more body than me. What is going on? And so a lot of jealousy, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of things that were insecure and created insecurities. And then it blew up, unfortunately, on her birthday. And then it blew up on social media, which is also real, real messy. But that's just me. So, of course, me and Jasmine were having this discussion of how this can look in grand schemes of things like that. Because I could definitely understand if it's I mean, I guess like, my birthday or like my wedding or like a bridal shower or a baby shower, if you have a friend who is purposefully trying to upstage you, if you have a friend who knows that it's your wedding, like, now come on now, if it's my wedding and you also come in a gown, in a white gown at that, like, I'm definitely gonna be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But the question that I was that I
questions.
the question that I brought up though was, do you know your friend prior to this situation, and what kind of behaviors do they normally present with, and is this typical behavior? I mean, for one, showing up to someone's wedding like that would not be atypical, like would not be typical behavior, but just in general of like,
but it's not that uncommon, to be honest.
it's not, but I'm saying in general, like, if you knew that you had a friend, like, let's just say, like, again, for example, what they're saying in the video was that the girl was always, I mean, even the girl put in her video, she was like, yeah, she gave me a dress code, but I don't adhere to that. I never do. But that's my thing. If I know that about my friend, if I know about my friend that my friend is going to be the one, if I'm like, all right, y'all, we're going out in these and t-shirts, and she comes out in heels and like, a full beat, but she's always like that, I'm going to know that about her. And I'm either going to, and I have the ability to say, okay, I'm going to take it or leave it.
Very much so. Agreed. And there's more layers to this, but like, again, this is not really about those two people. It's thank you to them for giving us an opportunity to learn about ourselves.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. But I think the thing that showed up in their relationship and other relationships is this friend that was doing the most is famous in some ways, right? Like, that doesn't mean everybody knows them, but they're like a public figure. They're a performer, whatever. And so I wonder if this whole time that other friend had struggled with that person being in the limelight and her not being. And that being in the background and everything.
That's where, I mean, like, me personally, and this is not even like me speaking from a professional standpoint, but a personal standpoint, I have been in many situations where I've had friends who were more popular and more pretty and got more attention than me. And I like once again, you choose whether or not you want to be friends with this person.
Agreed.
So yes, like, having a best friend who all eyes turn as soon as, like, we walk into a room, not staring at me, but staring at her. I get it. Having the friend who is super duper thick that all the guys are like, oh my gosh, every time she comes in. I get it. For one, like, not taking that out on her because it wasn't always like her doing, but also for two, like, being able to establish that our friendship was not based on that. And being okay and secure within myself to know that I didn't care.
But the truth is that a lot of people do care.
I do.
Like, for some people, that might even be like the foundation of the relationship. You know how when we're young, especially when we're in school, you can have a friend that's super popular. And then you're not that popular. Or you have a friend that's light skinned and you're not light skinned. Like, whatever the normal pretty thing is, and you have the opposite, sometimes those friendships can feel like almost like lopsided in a way, and it can bring out that insecurity. So let's say that changes, right? But you knew this friend when y'all were young, and when y'all were young, this person was very popular, and maybe that, like, popularity looks different as an adult. And what if that was always the foundation between y'all? You always felt insecure. You always felt like this person was cooler than you, and then you grow up, or you don't talk about it ever. It just kind of lives inside of you. Then it's still always there, It doesn't really go away, I don't think.
Yeah.
Unless we do something with it.
But I think that the negative thing that we tend to see is that if people don't communicate it, the negative thing, the thing that we do about it tends to be negative, unfortunately.
Okay, wait, say that again. What you trying to say?
So if we do not actually have this communication, if we do not deal with it, if the person does not deal with their own insecurities or how the relationship makes them feel, a lot of the times we do see people deal with it in negative ways. So then it either becomes, oh, I'm jealous of you, so now I want to belittle you. I want to make you feel low because I feel low. We have I want what you got.
Well, what you're saying is it always has to come out. It's always going to come out. If you don't talk about it, if you don't process it, however you do it, it's going to come out. So it's either going to come out in processing, or it's going to bleed out into something else.
Yes.
Right? And that, like, something happens and you don't want to support somebody, or you You ever have friends where you do something and there's sometimes this one friend that just never can show up to the stuff that is celebrating you? It's just like, oh, think about everything else. They might even come to see you when you're down, but the events to celebrate you, they're just, I can't, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to come out, just like you were saying. Agree.
Or like we've said, like too, like you're using the example again of like the Toni and Joan. It like when we saw that, and I think that it was, even though she was considered like the more like stuck up friend, Toni was very aware that Joan was going to struggle with her getting married because she knew how bad Joan wanted to be married, how bad Joan had been trying to be married for years, and she tried to hold space for that. Like she literally was like, I know this is going to be hard for you.
Did she?
I'm gonna like try to like hold in a hold space.
I had to stop watching at that point, I guess.
Well, yes, she did. She acknowledged it. She was going to try to hold space for it, and Joan could not handle it. She did not want to admit it. She did not want to be vulnerable. She did not want to admit it, but she just kept sabotaging. She was going to be late for stuff, or she was going to like not show up for stuff because, and like completely out of her character because she's like the party queen. Like I do everything. I host everything.
She's going to be on time.
But when it comes to this,
exactly, she's
because
struggling.
I can't handle it. I'm self-sabotaging my stuff, and I'm gonna get mad at you and like blame it on you.
And not having that conversation of just like, I see this is hard for you. Do you even want to take up the space? Do you even want to have this role right now, or does it need to look different? Like, tell me what you need.
Which to me, I think that there is value in that. There is value in recognizing some ways that your friends may struggle, in ways that your friends may have like insecurities, or not even insecurities. Maybe it's just something that they've struggled with, and recognizing like, hey, this is happening for me, and I know that it has not happened for you, or it isn't happening for you, and I want to be able to hold space for that. Like, can you do this for me?
Yes.
Can you show up for me in this way, instead of like automatically assuming that this person should be able to do that? But to me, that also like, is a two-way street for the friend to be aware of the other friend, and for the other one to actually like to be honest and be like, no, I can't.
And we talk about that like in our personal lives a lot, that just like, okay, this is really hard for me because I'm struggling with this thing, or this is really like difficult to take up space in this area, or even to celebrate this person because of what I'm lacking right now. But that's also a normal part of life, right? Like,
and especially as we get older into friendship.
Yes. And it looks like we need to be doing this, or we need to be accomplishing this during this time. And then looking around and seeing other people do it, like, it's a lot.
And I think that so we talk about like how this shows up big and small. So like big things, it may be like babies or weddings, or like
it might be dramatic
birthdays, like things that way. We also talk about how this shows up in small ways, like kind of like what Jasmine was saying. If you don't have these conversations with each other, how these insecurities, or if you not take inventory of yourself,
if you don't handle it, on your own,
how these insecurities just like may ooze out in different ways. So let's talk about this. Jasmine, have you ever had? Let's just be honest. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone where like maybe it was even you, where you felt like that those things were just kind of like oozing out?
All the time, yes. But I, raise your hand if you're one of these girlies. I tend to be a jealous person in that, like, I think it's also ADHD brain of just like, ooh, a thing. I want the thing. Ooh, that looks nice. I want a thing. And I'd be like, why don't I have the thing? And then sometimes it's not even a thing that I want. I just want it because it gives me dopamine, I think. But yes, for me, but a lot of times it's internal, and sometimes I have to deal with it. All the time I have to deal with it, not sometimes. But yes, I've definitely been that friend, and I definitely can see. I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know. I'm sure there is one. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna do that. But I will say, on piggybacking on this, girl code, which I think is blended in here. Girl code also is like the way that we dress. You know how we do this thing that like if we're going out, especially when we're younger, we're like, okay, what are you wearing? What's everybody wearing? What are y'all having on? Oh, you're gonna be dressed like that. I need to change. I need to make sure that I'm fitting, like I'm fit the mold, that we all look the same or the right amount of dressy. But I feel like that is a little bit competitive too.
Well, and see, I wouldn't even say that it's so much competitive. To me, I think it's also like because like we had these moments where like, especially like at the beginning of our friendship, where like me and you didn't like quite know each other. So like, like, all right, like, we're going out to eat. I show up in heels, and that's what he does. I like those sweatpants. And I'm
absolutely.
like, I'm like, we're fine.
Mhm.
But in the moment, it's like, wait, so did I overdress or did she underdress? Or
Mhm.
like, so like to me, it wasn't like a comparison of like jealousy.
Yeah.
It was just more or less of like, are we on the same page of like what we're doing and how
Mhm.
we're also supposed to be looking? Or also, I've been that friend who's went to an event and had on something and I'm like, oh, I look way different from everybody else in here.
Mhm.
Like everybody else in here has on sneakers, and I'm over here like
No,
I
but
dress. Like what
truly.
just happened?
But the issue is, why is that so difficult? I think I had a much more difficult time with that when I was younger. These days, I don't care. I can be in sweats and you can be in his and you're gonna look cute and I'm gonna be over here. But for some reason, I think that is a big deal. And I think
But I
part
think
of
that
it
for you
is
too, you also have, and I think that, and I've learned this over the years because my mom used to always tell me this to stop changing to meet other people. But you like learn that comfortability in yourself that you don't care. Where someone else will feel really, really insecure being around their friends, knowing that they're dressed down and the friend is dressed up.
I don't know. That's really not the thing that I get jealous about, but I also get it. And I think that the issue there too is that like people use women, like they look at us and they make like any kind of meaning around things, right? Especially when girls are together, like when you're younger, high school, college, those kinds of things. Whatever y'all walk out in, okay, here's what I'll say. I'll speak about me. I am always in a girl gang. Whatever it is, I'm in a girl gang, which means it's a lot of girls together. So that means if we're together and we're looking for either a man or things to do, they're going to survey the whole group. And they're going to look at what everybody's wearing and look at what everybody looks like. And there's a thing too of just like, okay, who's the one that gets the most attention? Who's the one who gets the most numbers? God forbid there's competition.
I think about also about too of like sometimes how that can mess up a situation if
Easily.
if a guy has like friends with him and he's like, all right, so like you gonna get the other friend, but the other friend over there looking like she used to be in a corner somewhere, and he's like,
but don't I ain't gonna
and I don't know.
It gets so complicated, especially when we want a double date and it'd be like, okay, but what does friend look like? And then sometimes you gotta tell the truth, or sometimes he fine. You know, sometimes it's a thing. But like it's always coming up. So if you already have that insecurity, it's going to show up any and everywhere.
But I do think that that's why you have to be able to check yourself, because I think that like that is the hard part about not recognizing this and how this can affect different friendships. Like I've been in friendships with people who have been jealous in ways that I've never understood, because I mean, like I get it, it's not me, but also like not realizing how those things can weigh on a friendship. Like now I have to deal with your insecurities that are constantly flying at me, and I think that I've struggled in the past, like within myself, of not wanting to hurt people's feelings more, because like you can see someone struggling with insecurities and you don't want to be like, dang girl, what's wrong with you? But also like not like, but like them not realizing that like I can't even show up as myself because me showing up as myself is so hard for you.
But see, that's a word right there. That's the word right there. But the thing that fixes that or that helps that is just saying it, just bringing it into the space. Like, dang, I'm having a hard time with this. That's enough for both of people to soften and be like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? But how do I show up? Or I really want to share this with you, and I know it's hard. So now what?
The thing too is that it requires vulnerability. I've been in situations where I've said that, and the other person has been able to be honest and be like, "Yes, this is something that I've struggled." Yeah. I've been in a situation where I said that, and the person was like, "I ain't got that problem. I'm not insecure. I don't do that."
About that, I was gonna say we're at vulnerability, but way before vulnerability is you have to know that it's happening.
Yes.
I think a lot of this stuff can be really unconscious. You don't even know what's happening. You're just like especially when I was younger, I would do things and I'd be like, "Why did I do that?"
Yeah.
That don't make sense. I'd be like, oh, I didn't really like that about her. And like having to do that in the background after the fact or after the drama.
Yeah.
Instead of in the front being like, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
Because it is also not always a conversation. Sometimes you can just do the internal and it doesn't show up. It doesn't feel as hard. You can manage it. That's also an option.
But
we need communication too.
But like it helps. Also said too about like being able to take that self inventory every now and then of yourself. Maybe you aren't that friend who cares about clothes. Maybe you aren't that friend who cares like which one of us has the like more money or like the bigger degree or things of that nature. But are you that friend who every single time your friend mentions everything, your mind eternally goes to yourself? Like your friend can't even tell you, oh yeah, I went and got like the job without you immediately being like, I should get a new job.
Mm-hmm.
With like, there's
she got a new fancy job. I want a fancy job.
Yeah. Well, like her husband does this. Does my husband do this? Like, why does your mind immediately go to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You can't even share in her moment because
Exactly.
you're immediately comparing yourself in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can either stay there in your mind or it comes out in negativity of like, well, like you may got that, but you don't got this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, I just said, like, I didn't say anything about that.
Go
what
your little job, girl. You can have a good time at your little job.
That's fine. Well, your hair is cute, but your skin ain't. Huh?
Huh? Or you know that time when like a friend goes off on you about something, like nothing happened, but they go off, you were always thinking you this and you that, and you was like, I just said good morning, like I don't know what's going on, but
that
it's
is
other stuff happening in the background that you're not saying, and now you're blowing up and exploding about whatever, and don't nobody know why, and now you look crazy.
Yes.
But I will say, if I can add, I think it is twofold, right? Like, you can have a jealous friend, but also it is on you as well to manage how you want to be in that relationship, or if you want to be in that relationship.
Agreed.
Because if you know you have a friend that struggles with jealousy, which again, it's not wrong to struggle with things. It is hard to stay in a relationship with people who don't want to improve or change or work on their own stuff.
Yeah.
That's different. So if you have a friend, again, Joan, Toni. Toni was like this from the very first day we laid eyes on her. Mm-hmm. She was true to herself. One thing about it, she was true to herself. She was consistent in the fact that she had insecurity. She even said it out loud many times.
Multiple times.
She may do other things around it, but many times she was just like, this is what it is. Mm-hmm. So like Joan had plenty of times and options to say, I don't like this about you. Can you change? Can you show up differently? Or I don't think I want this kind of person in my life.
But I think that's the hard part. And I sympathize with Joan because that's something that I struggle with in myself, that I'm not always a people pleaser in that state, but I am when it comes to people that I love. And I feel like that I understood that about Joan in that situation, that Toni would do things and say things that were hurtful, but then she would also have this soft side that come up and be like, well, this is why I don't have any other friends. Nobody would deal with me but you. Please don't leave me. And then Joan would feel sad because she knew that this was her friend and her friend was hurting, and that she'd want to, and that she'd want to like take care of her. And I got that. I understand what it feels like to be in a relationship with people who are insecure. They're mean to me. They say hurtful things, and I'm just like, she's hurting, and I take it.
I know, but that's also very therapist-y as well, and it's not exclusive to therapists at all. It is definitely a thing that happens, but for sure. Don't you do that as well with a lot of clients? I have a lot of clients that are like, well, I just get why they're this way, and I understand. Yeah. Like they've been through a lot, and I'm like, absolutely. Like we can have empathy for people.
It's a past.
That don't mean they can do anything and everything. Listen, can I do it? I'm gonna do it. So if we're talking about Robert Kelly, we understand. Stay with me here. I'm going on a journey. I'm gonna come back around.
Okay.
We know his background.
100%.
We knew everything he went through. It was 100%. Crazy. It was horrible. It was ugly. The man can't read. It don't matter what the specifics are. But let's say that happened. That don't make what he did okay.
100%.
Right? And that don't mean that you should put up with it. That's an extreme version.
No, I stand by that with a lot of people, that everybody has a story, everybody has a background, but it does not. If you just shot somebody, you shot them. I'm sorry. Consequence is a consequence, not because you had a bad background. 100%. But I do understand how that can be easier said than done when you're in a relationship with somebody that you care about.
I agree. And on a smaller scale, like somebody doesn't have to be abusing you to be doing you wrong. Somebody doesn't have to be doing it don't have to be a big dramatic fallout like that for it to be wrong.
It can be showing up in small spaces of just like, you constantly making little jabs or little digs that you may not even be aware that you're making, but you're just constantly internally comparing yourself and then constantly and constantly throwing out these jabs and not realizing the effect that it's having on the other person.
So everybody got to do the work, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's the jealous friend, it's the friend catching strays. Everybody got to do the work.
Yeah.
And so if that is holding somebody accountable, hold them accountable. If that is sharing about how things hurt you, do that. If that is, hey, booking your own little cute therapy session with a cute therapist, working on your stuff of just like, man, I don't like feeling this way internally about somebody I love. Like, work on it. Do it. Journal about it. Do all the stuff. But you can find a prompt anywhere. You can find a journal prompt anywhere. It's a big deal.
Therapy is a thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you and your
Charmaine
friend
does it. Y'all go see her.
Maybe you and your friend need to be in session together. So yeah, like
yeah, insurance ain't paying for that, but you should do that.
Hey, anywho.
Anyway, I was saying, well, how do we know who you related to or not? That's not my business.
Yeah.
But
so like if you guys have been rocking and rolling with us, or even if you have not, go back and watch some of our old friendship videos that we talk about this in.
We have a friendship playlist. Like
Yeah.
it's a series of every friendship thing we've done. And we're gonna keep talking about friendship because we have to.
Yeah. And then also like we also have videos on like emotional vulnerability and things of that nature as well too. About how that looks like. We also just did 2 on like communication and what that could look like as well too. And all of these kind of sort of tied together on like communication, emotional vulnerability, like insecurities, like self-esteem. We have one on self-sabotage, like all those different things that can tie into what can make your friendship blossom, or what can make it fall.
I would say the Winning to Exhale series is probably really good for this too. I think. Yeah. Because all those women struggle with their own insecurities, and it would be it's very reflective. I think you can see yourself in any one of those characters. So if you struggle with this, don't be afraid to admit it. And I think maybe that is the issue that we have, is that people don't admit this often enough. But like, if you are alive in this world, you're going to feel some jealousy at some point of your life.
Yeah.
Very much so.
100%.
So do y'all work? Yeah, keep talking to us. We'll talk back. Let us know what else we need to do in the future. But people, have those hard conversations. Do it. Let us know how we can support you in that. You know what I'm saying?
And then, just like take this video, send it to a friend and a friend and a friend and a friend and a friend.
Right. And also, like I said, how do we know that you love us if you don't let us know? Communicate. See, we're talking about direct communication. Like the video, make a comment, share it. Do you want us to do more stuff? Or you just what? You tired of looking at us? You can't be. You can't. Look how sweet we are. We're so nice. Anyway, y'all, take care of yourselves, please. And we'll see you on the next one. Stay mentally dope, y'all.